Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers creepers, where did you get those eyes? What's up, horror fam? We are live, baby, once again with the diabolical Dr. Briggs as our special guest. Now, Briggs, before we get started, man, everybody out here probably already knows this, but this is an inherently controversial topic of discussion. It is highly controversial. As a matter of fact, a lot of podcasts, horror websites, horror YouTubers won't even touch this topic. They won't even discuss Jeepers Creepers anymore because of the inherent controversy that's associated with it. But I'll tell you what, man, we are TalkHorror, and we're going to live up to the name tonight. We're going to talk about Jeepers Creepers and the controversy surrounding it, because like I said, it's inherent, man. I mean, you probably agree with me at this point. Like, there is no way at this point you can discuss this topic without the controversy following soon thereafter. So we will address that. Now, I do want to give people a fair warning that the controversy is pretty severe, so viewer discretion is advised. You know, it does involve convicted pedophile Victor Salva, who directed the first 3 films of the series, and you know, we'll be talking about his crimes and you know, how that affected the franchise, as it were, Briggs. So, but that's something that's going to come along later. We will announce it before we get into that. So if y'all want to, you know, stick around until then, you know, if you're sensitive to that, you can peace out then. But, you know, until then, Briggs, we'll talk about the movies. And I see a lot of the horror fam in here. Howdy, my friends. I'm glad y'all could make it for this one. It should be a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Like, Jeepers Creepers, it may be a series that's impossible to divorce from the controversy surrounding it, but for right now, we want to do something that I don't see a lot of, and it's just focusing on the quality of the films themselves, because I think, regardless of anything, Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 is a very strong duo of horror films, and I think it had a lot of potential, which, you know, unfortunately carries with it a lot of stigma. Like, people aren't sure if it should capitalize on its premise.
Well, man, you know, Jeepers Creepers to me came out at a time when horror really needed it, man. You know, so if people aren't familiar with the first Jeepers Creepers, which I imagine most of you are, it involves a brother-sister team. They are on their way back home from college to see their parents. And the relationship of the brother-sister is really cool, man. Like, they spat and talk a little bit of smack and stuff like that to each other. But when it comes down to it, man, they love each other and try to take care of each other as well. So I really like the relationship there. But so they're on this road trip back home, driving through the cornfields and all of that, when they get pursued by someone in like this mysterious, spooky truck. And then later on, they see the person driving that truck dumping a body down a well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and after that, man, it turns into a creature feature with this entity pursuing them and trying to get them and consume parts of their bodies for its own doing. Briggs.
And, like, there's a couple things I like about that. First off, I mean, the fact that the characters are both human. Like, they're not stock characters, they don't have stock problems. It's very much just 2 siblings, like, bouncing jibes off of one another.
Oh, yeah.
And I do like the fact that it's not that typical of a plot progression either. Like, we don't get several scenes of the siblings running afoul of the creeper before they get into its lair. Like a dairy intruding on its lair is kind of the turning point that really starts up everything else.
Well, man.
And I do like the fact that they spend kind of an extended period of time within this lair where the creepers made this like massive, like twisted house of pain out of human flesh. I like that it's not just stock shots of him looking up and gasping at the various like monstrosities. We see it take a toll on him. A lesser film, it would have like left us outside with Trish, like looking around for the truck. We get that one good jump scare of what we think is the creeper's truck, but it's just a farm truck going for her. They could have left us outside with that, done something very generic, something very slow build to a typical climax. I like that we cut back to Derry throughout that whole ordeal. We didn't just cut to him coming back outside and looking shocked.
Agreed,
that, I
man,
think, separates Jeepers Creepers from the pack, especially like the cynical kind of dumb horror that was coming out in the early 2000s.
Well, man, the kind of horror that we were getting in was like, horror hadn't had a mascot in a really long time. The 90s was like the dead zone for horror, man. I mean, seriously.
It was whodunits, where anybody could be behind the mask.
Yeah, that's when we started getting, the 90s was pretty dead. The only thing that really came out of the 90s that was, like, iconic and, has shelf life is Scream. That's, that's one of the main ones. That's rough, but, and we hadn't had a face of horror really in a long time. I mean, we did get Ghostface, he did spawn a franchise, all that good stuff, man, but Jeepers Creepers showed up and gave us something, at that time in horror, man, it was a lot of paranormal stuff. We were getting like Ju-on, Boogeyman, The Ring, stuff like that, the Haunting or whatever. And Jeepers Creepers shows up, man, and it gives us a totally different plot. And we finally got a creature feature, a new face of horror, man. He wasn't just another slasher. Like, this thing was a creature that had its own abilities. And all of that, dude. And, I see some chats, some of our chatters over here, Briggs. They have some questions for us. So just to let you guys know how we're going to do this is we're just going to talk about the films in order. So we will talk about 1, 2, 3, and then get to Jeepers Creepers Reborn. So, and of course we will also we'll address the controversy really before we head into Jeepers Creepers 3, because that's really when it took, the controversy really came to life, Briggs, right? I mean,
yeah, that was like, the first two came out kind of in that transitionary period where not everybody had the internet.
Yeah.
By the time 3 came out, like, you couldn't say Victor Salva without somebody chiming in knowing what he's done.
Well, not only that, you couldn't say Jeepers Creepers without it, but we'll get into that, man. But dude, yeah, going on with the relationship of the brother and sister, man, I really love it. They're playing road games together, something you might do with your own siblings or something you would do with friends when you're on a road trip of your own, but man, and it gets into that whole thing like, holy crap, man, what would you do if you were being pursued by this mystery person that's in this giant truck with seemingly like 700 horsepower beating you down the road, beating you, Briggs. No pun intended there, man. But, and we get things, man, in horror films, typically other people besides victims are not present. There's typically not an authority figure either. We get cops in this one. You know what I'm saying? So there's some cool stuff in there. Plus, I like the seclusion of it. It looks like they're driving through freaking Kansas or something. They're secluded to their car, and they're just trying. And it is like a what would you do, because they drive by, and they see this person dumping a body down that well, and it's like, if would you go back and try to help that person? That person could still be alive. And there's certainly no one around that is going to pull over and help them. I mean, it's a very, deserted stretch of road, dude. So I thought that was really cool, man. The tension, that movie carries with it is just something that we don't get all that much anymore, and we didn't get at that period in time for horror either.
It's a film that lets itself build up. We get a conversation between a brother and a sister as to whether or not to explore this tunnel. There's no foregone conclusion. It doesn't feel overly dramatic. They feel like they're actually weighing in as to whether or not you should do it. Like, it's not just portrayed as like an impetus to get them into the plot or to get the plot moving.
Well, man, that's one more thing I'd like to comment on real quick, because I was actually going to say this, Briggs. I hate to interrupt you, man, but this is something that I don't want to forget, because I was going to mention it and then totally did. I like how they tell you a story, an urban legend within the movie, and we've seen this before in like Pet Sematary, all these other films where it's like they tell you this story. Night of the Demons is a great example, like the origin story of Whole House and all that. Like, they tell you these stories, and sometimes the stories within the movie are creepier than the movie itself, man. But I thought it was really cool that Trish and Derry talk about this urban legend about these teens who were in love who went missing on this stretch of road. And you hear this story, man, and then it actually gets covered within the film. Like, we see what actually happened there. It's just really cool, man. I wanted to mention that. I thought that was pretty creative, dude.
That's another thing. It's one of the things they throw into the film to spice it up, but it never gets so overwhelming. It never gets so thrown out of proportion that it starts taking up space that the script could have been covering other things, building suspense. It keeps you in the present. That's one thing I really like about it. There's no filler in the film.
No.
It's not rushed, but it does move very briskly from point to point.
I totally agree with that, man. Despite the seclusion, despite the setting, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like The Breakfast Club where they're sitting around talking the whole movie or something. I'm not insulting The Breakfast Club. I love that movie, but for a horror film, man, typically when you get seclusion, you get something like Frozen, where it's like, there is some downtime in there, and I like Frozen as well, but, man, this one does. It moves from plot point to plot point, and it's executed very well, actually.
Yeah, and that time to burn for each scene. I love how it does that. I just love how it keeps you on your toes. It doesn't let anybody in the film get too relaxed. That's something I like in any horror film.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought, I'd like to get your opinion on this, man. I thought it was very well acted. When Derry comes out of that tunnel and Trish is up there waiting in the car, and there's some great jump scares right there, man. Some misdirection and everything, and Derry is just speechless. I thought Justin Long really pulled that off.
Oh, for sure. Again, that's one of the strongest points of it, that it spends so much on making sure the performances come to life.
Yeah. And let me ask you this, and I want to know the consensus out there with our chat as well. Thank all of you for coming in, man. The horror fam is strong in this one, Briggs. I'm telling you what, dude, I see that chat flowing nicely like a river of wine to me, Briggs. So let me tell you what, man. Answer this question for me, guys and gals. Is Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, Briggs? They have like this Halloween vibe to me. I really like to watch those around Halloween, man. It's like this autumn kind of feel to it. Do you get that sense from it?
It's weird because it's set in spring, but we get so much like farmland. It feels October-y. It feels kind of like where a hayride would be.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And it could be also where it's like a creature feature or something like that, man. It just feels like Halloween to me. I love to watch it, around this time of year. And speaking of which, Briggs, to tell the horror fam, hey man, if y'all ain't hitting that like button and that subscribe button, baby, you gotta rep the big TH, dude. Hit it up. Let us know you're here. Say hello. Don't be shy.
Shroom Tripper, that was creepy as hell. But the reason they cut that is because they didn't want to give the creeper a voice, which I think it was smart if they didn't know how to do it. And Shroom Tripper in the chat right now is talking about a deleted scene actually from Jeepers Creepers 2, where it would add to the character where he took one of his victims, stuffed his hand up the back of their head, and started using them as a ventriloquist doll to communicate with the kids trapped on the bus.
Yeah, dude, that was so wild. But I agree, man. Like, they weren't sure about it, so they just tossed it. You know what I'm saying? And that could have changed the tone, like you said. Yeah. Some, it could have been creepy to us. Some could have maybe thought it was a little bit hokey, a little cheese there, but.
What I guess I want to say is, I like how the creeper is such a fleshed out monster. Like, it does things that are unique to it. It throws weapons, it eats, but primarily to regenerate itself. And it has this ornamental thing to its lore that we don't quite get into, but it just makes him such a rich character. Like the fact that he's agile, the fact that he can fly, it sets him apart as a monster. And I think kept the film engrossing. You kept wanting to see what you would learn about it or what it would do. And that's part of what kept it scary. You still don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I want to ask you this, Briggs. We're talking about the creeper himself, man. How did you feel about the portrayal of this character by Jonathan Breck, man?
Like, the first two films, I think he carries it with a sense of, like, sort of evil pride. Like, he's not playful like Freddy Krueger, but he's definitely, like, cruel, like, psychologically cruel. Like, I like how that's also justification we eventually get, that he likes smelling the fear on his victims as to why he lets people get away so often and then comes back to them.
Did you see the casting tape of Jonathan Breck when he was trying out for the role, and like he's not in makeup, anything, it's just the actor himself, and he starts from outside the room, and just the way he pokes his head in the door, man. Yeah, if you haven't seen that casting, that audition tape, you really need to check that out. I mean,
that's interesting. I know a big part of why, the poll, I'm obviously getting stomped, but a big part of why I personally prefer Jeepers Creepers 2 is the scene where he's picking out who he's going to eat, and the kind of facial acting he gives in that scene. That is so unsettling.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you haven't seen the audition tape out there, folks, you need to check it out, because now we know the creeper just by looking at him within the film. This is a scary mofo, man. There's no doubt this dude's up to no good. But when you take a normal man in a room filled with people, in suits, they're intently watching you and judging your every move. So you got just this regular dude. As soon as this guy pokes his head into that room, man, the mood changes. It's almost creepier than the creeper himself, dude. Because it's like, oh my God, man. He pokes his head in the room, moves his eyes around looking, and then he comes in and he's like smelling people and getting all up in there. It's so weird, man. He nailed it.
That's body language right there. Like, on par with or surpasses like Kane Hodder as Jason. Like that kind of dynamic and a physical
Yeah.
performance to sell it and make it that iconic.
Yeah.
It's not like bringing Nick Castle back as Michael Myers or something like that.
Yeah, well, there you go, DOD. Creepier because no extra cinematics. Yeah, I mean, if you're that creepy on your own, imagine what you can do when you're, you got the music going, you've got the costume on, and. But yeah, Briggs, when he picks out people and just his mannerisms and stuff, yeah, we saw it with Kane Hodder. I mean, now there were some excellent portrayals of Jason before him, but Kane really brought the mannerism, the physicality. It's how we
You could feel his anger, and you could feel Jonathan Breck's cruelty.
Yes, exactly. So Briggs, so so I know at the end, man, when you are wondering, man, who the creeper is going to choose, because you have Derry, the brother, and you have Trish, the sister, and the whole movie you're like, oh my god, dude, who does the creeper want? And they are totally willing to sacrifice, themselves to save their sibling, man. Who did you think the creeper was going to choose?
I thought he was going to make the stupid decision. He was going to dump Jerry, and then the police were going to shower him with bullets, and it was going to be a happy ending.
Oh, what? Oh my god! So you were ultra shocked when the true ending was revealed, huh?
That was brutal. It seems like it was trying to set up for that. It was trying to set up for the heroic twist.
Yeah.
But the creeper he was merciless. He wasn't grabbing the all right, let's beat the villain now ball.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, Briggs, I definitely see some heated comments over here in the chat, so I, just to let people know, we're going to discuss the controversy. We're not sitting here supporting anybody. We're talking about the films.
Yeah, and that's the filmmaking itself of Jeepers Creepers, I think, is unfairly dismissed. Irregardless of what any of the cast or crew may have done.
So,
because a moment like that where we've got one of our two heroes of the film kind of begging to try and save the other, that's such a Hollywood way to segue into Deus Ex Machina.
Well, I feel like that's part of the problem with this, and kind of why we're doing this podcast. No one else will discuss this topic because, and this is no offense to you, Chesko, but people are unwilling to discuss the topic. They want to come in and voice they don't want to hear a discussion. There's no room for that. They just want to yell at you and get their opinion out there because it's more important than any discussion or any opinions of others, and then that's it. So, I mean, but right now, we're discussing the movies and stuff like that. We will move into the controversy and stuff like that, but we're going to discuss it. We're not going to sit here and, I pretend it it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And disregard everything. Not only the films, but the victims, or the films but the victims as well. I mean, come on, man. That's generic and a disservice to everyone involved. But man. So I'm telling you, Briggs, that ending to me is so classic. It's so great. I mean, like you said, at that point, at that time in horror, you were expecting a happy ending or something, we'll just say, not so creative.
Something contrived.
Not only that, man, but it's not a happy ending, and that last shot is iconic to me. The way it ends is iconic. I think it's a great ending for that film, dude.
Dude, did he take Derry's eyes, or did he take his skin? Because that I think when I first watched the film, that was what I thought the reason why he took Derry, because he wanted a male's skin to become part of him. But everybody seems to think it's his eyes, even though you can see right through the backs of them. They like drill them out or something.
Well, I mean, I don't know, dude. You're bringing up a really damn good point here, Briggs, because a lot of people do assume the eyes. And I think everyone else does. You know, this is the first time I'm hearing this, man, because, you know, you have the Jeepers Creepers song playing or whatever, you know, where did you get those eyes? And then, you know, and then his eyes are missing. But like you said, man, it's not only that. And to be fair, the Jeepers Creepers does look through Derry's eyes, which implies that is now Derry's eyes that he's looking through when he looks through that the skin, essentially, man. So that is a really damn good question. Why did he skin him?
Like when I heard the song, I just thought it was referring to the Creeper's original eyes, and that's why we got that shot in the end.
I don't know, man. That's a really damn good question, and I mean, what does the horror fam think? Did the Creeper in fact skin Derry? He just wanted some of Derry's skin, or did he take the eyes? What is the implication there?
Dude, that's why he left his navel out and put his navel onto his throwing star, because he doesn't need his belly button. He's not natural. He's not of woman born.
Or maybe Jeepers Creepers doesn't like tattoos, man. He's like, I'm not wearing that shit. I'll go to hell. Okay, man. Hey, I'll tell you what. While we're doing that, Briggs, you know, while we're waiting on the consensus, people are being pretty quick here, man. Vanderhoff says he wanted the eyes. He wanted the eyes. Dragon Blue says the eyes. Jonah says the eyes. Emperor of Visas says the eyes, man. Hey, man.
Visa says his eyes were gray. What were the Creeper's original eyes, though?
I don't know, dude. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, the Creeper's original eyes were gray, and they were different in the end.
Oh, okay. So he took the eyes. But I'm telling you what, Briggs, that is a very good question you came up with, man. I've never thought about it that way, and I've never heard anyone else bring it up. And I would like to thank all of you for participating in the chat with us tonight. If you're new in here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Please stick around, become part of the horror fam. We love every single one of you. I know this is a controversial topic. Briggs and I are not going to allow this to divide any of us. Don't worry. We're going to navigate this as best we can. We love you all, man. So stick around. You're part of the horror fam.
Everything the same. I'm glad you guys are here, willing to discuss the films themselves with us.
Yes.
Because as one of the rare original creature features of the early 2000s, like, Jeepers Creepers is a different beast for sure. Like, how it starts out kind of disguised as a serial killer movie, but it keeps throwing layers on top that make you wonder what the hell they're actually running from. The psychic angle for, you know, how badly it trashed part 3, it was definitely like an eerie undertone through the whole thing. Like, when you didn't know the Creeper was like a demon for sure, like, it was like, okay, is this woman, she knows too much about these kids, is she in on it?
Ooh. Yeah, but, well, hey, so Briggs, before we get into all that good stuff, man, JK says, I think Briggs just hit the nail on the head. He uses the body parts. Let's see here. Jarrett Barkley says, I guess I'm one of the few that likes 2 better. You are, in fact, one of the few, but Briggs totally agrees with you, man. RL says, definitely the eyes. Justin, the actor who played Derry, actually was in the Creeper costume mask at the end. That's why his eyes are brown.
Okay, so that's making some sense.
Yeah. There you go, man. And hey, I'm seeing a lot of new faces in here, man. Y'all folks, please hit that subscribe button, Briggs. This has turned into, I think, our biggest live stream of all time, dude. We have the most active viewers in here at one time ever.
Welcome to the horror fam.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So glad to see you all in here and glad to see this chat chugging along. Now, Diane did ask me, the old Daughter of Death had a question, Briggs. And DOD, I spotted it. I just didn't get to address it at the time, but I'm going to address it right now. She is wondering, Briggs, what the Ultimate Halloween Bash 2022 is. Well, I just wanted to say it is a goal. And it's basically so we can beat our previous record, because I was told the next time we streamed that our most donated to stream, which I think was $465, Briggs, was going to be beaten the next time we stream, and I want to see it. And if it happens, I'm going to throw the Ultimate Halloween Bash, Briggs, complete with skull beer bongs, man. Skull and spine beer bongs.
Yeah!
I even have some beer in the fridge in case that happens tonight to celebrate. I'm telling you, dude, if we can hit it, we'll get that drink out, Briggs. But that is the Ultimate Halloween Bash 2022, DOD. Yes, Jason Morgan, this is Mr. Briggs. Shadow Diced Gaming, who was older, Trish or Derry? I also believe Trish was definitely the older sibling.
Yeah, I believe she refers to him as Derry as her baby brother or something at one point.
Oh, shit. DOD says, get the beer bongs. I'll come up. Me and DOD are partying it up tonight, Briggs. What do you think of them apples, baby? That's
Hell
right.
yeah, it's occasion to party, dude.
It is, man. Hey, if we break that record or even come close to it, it's game over in this bad boy. Okay. Mags, I don't have pumpkin beer just yet. I don't think I've seen any around. Not since I've started looking anyway. But, okay, Briggs, so we've talked about Jeepers Creepers 1, man. Now, coming into Jeepers Creepers 2, which came shortly thereafter, what is it, like 2 years later we got the sequel?
Yep.
Jeepers Creepers 2, did you have any expectations whatsoever?
I don't think I did, man. I watched it so close to the first one, like, probably within 24 hours of one another, to be honest.
Oh, that's crazy, but also cool.
So I was a blank slate going into it. I thought it was cool. Like, we didn't immediately follow Trish's quest for vengeance. But it still, like, brought back Derry. Like, it had that tie back to the original in the fact that we got another psychic character in this one, and she sees his dead form, like, warning her about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
It was different, like, and I admired how different it was. Like, even though it takes place on the same stretch of highway, there's hardly any moving around. They're stuck in the middle of nowhere, and this thing is outside.
Yeah, so basically, for those of you who don't know, Jeepers Creepers 2, once again, another seclusion type of movie here, Briggs. So we follow high school kids, a high school football team, as well. Oh, JP dropping the 20 bloody bucks.
Oh,
what do you think about that, Briggs? Yeah, baby. Ultimate Halloween Bash 2022. We're up to 12% on that goal, Briggs. Look at that. And he becomes the stream boss. This shit's crazy. He's like the new creeper, bro.
JP, I bet your name stands for just perfect.
Yeah, Briggs. Jarrett Barkley with the $4.99. Goodness gracious, what's happened? He says, here you go. Jeepers Creepers would definitely be a great Halloween Horror Nights house. Would never happen, though, of course. I sadly agree with you, Jarrett.
Well, with what we've seen in the fourth film, we've definitely got some stuck in a house action in that one.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, so look at that, Briggs. Check it out. Yeah, Jarrett Barkley.
Oh.
Yeah, he saw JP take that stream boss and he had to get it back. Look at that, man. Jarrett Barkley, man. First time stream boss right there. Let's hear it for Jarrett in the chat, man. Jarrett, yeah. What y'all think of them bad boys? Tonight. Oh man, I'm telling you, dude. Things are getting crunk, Briggs, as Lil Jon would say.
Juno hated Scotty from Jeepers Creepers 2. I liked that he was an asshole, but he wasn't an over-the-top asshole. Like, it's again another thing. I like that the characters in Jeepers Creepers 2, they're not stereotypes. The cops aren't overly skeptical. Like, the assholes aren't assholes 100% of the time. Yeah. The good guys can be jerks too. Like, but I am glad that Scotty bit the dust. I wish Johnny bit the dust too.
Well, that's one thing that I will say about Scotty, man, played by Travis Schiffner, a friend of mine on the old Facebookarooski there, Briggs. But with Scotty, the little fun fact about him, Briggs, he took all that money and went and bought himself a vehicle. RL with the $5, baby! $5 bloody bucks, dropping them on me. Look at that! Look at that, Briggs. What do you think of them apples, son? We got Dancing Michael Myers.
RL must stand for Real Looker.
Real Looker? Yeah! RL a stud, man. Hey, that's bad to the bone, as my friend Jonas would say, guys. Thank y'all so much. Badass, dude. Look at Jonas coming in. Bad to the bone. Hey, man, give it up for RL, dude. Drop some of those members emojis on him, dude. We'll get some leather faces popping. How y'all like that? Look at that, Briggs, man. Tonight is heating up, baby. So, I'm
2000 says that she wished the bus driver from Jeepers Creepers 2 lived.
Huh.
What I like about the fact that she died is because it kind of eliminates an easy leader figure. It takes out somebody who could have taken charge and taken on, like, it made it less chaotic.
That's a good point. And to get back, Briggs, to your Scotty comment, was Scotty an asshole? Of course. He was an asshole, but like you said, they didn't take him and push him over the top with it. Not only him, but they didn't take the reactions of the people around him and go over the top with it. Like, man, that Scotty's a real racist piece of shit. I'm going to hate him for the rest of our fucking lives, and I hope he dies in a, freak combine thresher accident. And then, it was kind of like, yes, he's an asshole, but they did not linger on it, which is something that a lot of movies today suffer fucking horribly from. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was today, instead of Jeepers Creepers being the monster, racism would have been the monster of the movie. That's how that would have been the real monster. Humanity would have been. But yeah, so Scotty was an asshole, but you see the rest of the team try to help him. He wasn't a joke. He didn't become a joke, or he didn't become like this, hated character by all. And you really got that Scotty was just horribly insecure. Mm-hmm. So there were layers to it. It wasn't like Scotty is just playing this caricature of some ignorant, racist son of a bitch. No, Scotty had layers to him. He's insecure high school football player.
I love that we didn't just get, 5 straight minutes of characters tearing at each other's throats. They let the threat stay from the monster.
Yes.
And that, I think, added to the claustrophobia rather than taking away from it, because you're not going to be that preoccupied with your grudge against somebody else when there's a thing at the top of the bus that can break through the metal.
Yes, thank you for the Diane. I love you. That is, I love you, Daughter of Death. Thank you. So Jeepers Creepers 2, man, like I said, it's an isolated, secluded horror film. I really love the setting of it too, man. And I like it in, multiple ways here. Like, number one, you have high school football players and, a few cheerleaders. And what's cool about that is these aren't slug-a-beds. You know what I'm saying? Like these people are physically active, they're physically fit, so it's not like the creeper is just preying on like the cat lady from Jeepers Creepers 1. So these are people that actually stand a chance. The other characters we get is a father-son duo, and the father's motivation is that the creeper took his other son from him. Once again, this is a farm boy. This is somebody who kicks ass, man. You know, they work for a living, man. You know, they're no pushovers is what I'm saying here. So it's cool that you get that, but also the seclusion of it, man, on the school bus. I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I'd love to hear the opinions of the chat. But man, when you would get on a school bus and go on those field trips, that was so fun. Like, you're surrounded by your friends, or you're going to the game or whatever, man. Like, so imagine, like, at first, if the bus broke down, it would be kind of cool because you and your friends just get a chill on the bus together, but then they're pursued by this monster. So, I don't know, dude. It's a fun-feeling movie to me, and it also has that autumn feel to it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd be too relaxed if the bus broke down and I knew what caused it. If I took one look at that fucking bone shuriken.
My God. Yeah. Yeah, it was like the Jeepers Creepers homemade ninja star got, tossed at that bus. And
just like we had the urban legend in the first one, like, not too overplayed or anything like that, just in the background, kind of adding to the tension, we got, like, audio from, like, police or the news on the bus radio about how they found all the bodies under the tunnel. And that kind of provided an undercurrent of, all right, well, what if he's still out there?
Yeah.
And, of course, these kids, they didn't watch the first movie. They don't know what the hell it is either.
No, man, not at all. So they're totally clueless. I mean, hell, they're focused on the big game, you know what I'm saying?
Ban and bantams, hard as rocks.
There you go, Briggs. I love it, man. Let's see. Let's go over some comments here, man. So we have Branita says, I love too. Me and my niece watch it every week. They didn't make him so much of a bad guy. That way we could still root for him. At his end in the movie, at the end, I didn't want Scotty to die.
Yeah, he sounded like he was another good actor. He sounded so like pitiful when they were trying to get him off of that tree.
Yeah, man.
They weren't reluctant about it either. It helps build the suspense. Like, everybody wants him to live, like he's an asshole, but it's a punch in the gut when they see the creepers fly off with him, just like he always planned to.
Yeah, dude. And now Emperor says that the father is the best part of the movie.
Dude, let me tell you, like, you might remember Ray Wise for, like, RoboCop or Reaper, something like that. To me, he's always Jack Taggart Sr., the ultimate Ahab of the Jeepers Creepers franchise.
Damn.
And the opening scene, one of the better opening scares out there, I think, just for how, like, creepy it is just seeing this scarecrow, like, start twitching.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or having the cojones to kill off a child character. And the fact that we saw the creeper running through this freaking cornfield and it didn't look goofy. Like, it looked scary as shit.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, dude. Yeah, so crazy. And it is, man. It's like, yeah, man, it's realistic, you know. It's not like this dude lost his kid and then just wilted and became a shell of a man. That this son of a bitch sprang into action, dude.
Yeah.
You know, he went right at it. It was really cool. I like that, man. You know, you get the, you know, your plots, you know, you get a couple different plots going on at the same time, and you're really, by the end of the movie, man, you really are rooting for everybody despite their shortcomings.
Yeah. Like, it's such kind of a creepy scene where Jack picks up the kids on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
They tell him to call the cops, and when the radio cuts out, he's like, all right, drive east, or wherever they were going.
Yeah,
So,
he's going for it, man. It's badass, dude. This is like,
that could easily screw you over, but you've got your fingers crossed.
Yeah, man. Jarrett Barkley says he's watching them all back to back for the first time this year for Halloween. Dude, you're going to have to, we live stream every week, typically at least 2 times a week. You're going to have to hop on in here and let us know what you thought of pulling the old double duty, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bernita says, I agree with Juno 2000. The opening was suspenseful and the emotions were on full display. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, so many opening scares, they just, like, everything's peaceful, suddenly something creepy happens 2 seconds later, somebody dies, and then it's the opening credits. But it was like a short film all itself, almost, to lead in the movie.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well, and here's another thing, Briggs. When we get to the ending of Jeepers Creepers 2, and I'm talking about like the bookend, when we get to the part where it's 27 years into the future, and they're selling tickets, for money to come and see the creeper, and people are thinking it's fake or whatever. We've all been to those museums.
I think you're thinking about Pennywise with that 27 years.
Or 23, excuse me. 23 years. Yeah, I was thinking, I got them mixed up there. But 23 years into the future, man. And I just think that ending where the dad is old now and he's still sitting there with the hole puncher, waiting for this son of a bitch to wake up again. The fucking perfect ending, man, because they, it wasn't one of those cheap ass things where it's like, oh, they think they killed the creeper, but then he opens his eyes at the end, or whatever. It's cool because it plays with the lore that they set in the first film.
And it leaves you wondering, do they have a chance?
Yes. Yeah, because it's time for round 2, baby. You know what I'm saying? And that dude is just sitting there with his hole puncher, Briggs. He's ready for him.
Juno 2000 says, what weird is there were more kids on the bus and they disappeared. Not shown again after Scotty got killed. What happened to that? That's another one of the things. That's one thing that bugged me about Jeepers Creepers 2. Like, after that scene where Scotty gets killed, it's almost like there's a missing reel there. Like, suddenly, Johnny's got one of the cheerleaders back on the bus with him. Bucks found himself back to the bus. Somehow the creeper didn't catch him, moving the other direction. Minx is just walking down the road and she meets Jack. It's like there's a hole in that movie. And like, I think they could have, I don't know if they ran out of budget, but they definitely could have filled that up better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. That is a really good point. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. And speaking of budget, I guess it's time for us to transition into Jeepers Creepers 3. And it's so hard, man, because I feel like the first 2 had such a better chance. So much more money was spent on, and probably not a lot, but
it's crazy. It seems like the money they spent on the third one, though, like, all of the good filmmaking went into the first 15 minutes. And then it just looks like your typical, like, movie you would see pop up on Tubi TV.
Oh, my God.
Made on a budget of, like, $10,000 and, like, budget mostly spent on, like, CG effects. Like, we got the creeper shooting a landmine onto the road.
Well, Briggs, let's go ahead and get that transition into it now. Once again, I'd like to preface this. We're starting to get into the Jeepers Creepers 3 conversation, and like I said, is when the stream started, this is pretty much when the controversy is going to be discussed, because that's when the controversy really came to light. So now, once again, this does deal with child sex crimes. So if you're sensitive to that topic or just don't, this is when we're going to move into it. Now you might want to, take your leave. But since it is a controversial topic and a very shitty one to discuss at that, we're going to do our best. Please don't judge us too much, and 1 like equals 1 prayer for us. So, Briggs, now moving on. Now, before we get into the controversy totally, before we start wading in the shit, as old Clarence Williams III would like to say, the original plan, the rumor for Jeepers Creepers 3 for a long time, which, by the way, did not come until like 15 years later or something like that. Maybe not that long, I don't know, but it had been a damn while. The rumored plot for Jeepers Creepers 3 was going to be that Trish, whom is now like a millionaire, wants to kill the creeper when he comes back to life 23 years later.
Well, I'm glad they didn't just do Halloween 2018. They did Halloween Kills instead.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of true. But, so, and this question goes for the live chat as well. Would you have rather seen that plot, the return of Trish Jenner, rather than what we got?
I would have liked it minus the millionaire angle. That kind of sours me a bit.
Oh.
Like Andy Barkley and Cult of Chucky or some shit.
Oh my god, yeah. So, okay, Briggs, here we go. So,
you don't
go
want
ahead.
to make Jeepers Creepers too fucking high tech.
You don't, but man, what we got, holy crap. But that was the rumored plot for a very long time. And then Jeepers Creepers 3 comes along, and all of a sudden, you have no idea what the hell this movie is about, other than it may be happening because the controversy was so much bigger than the movie. There was no news on the movie or what was happening. Like, the only on-set pictures we got was pictures that weren't attached to, like, on-set pictures released of Jeepers Creepers 3. No, it was attached to boycotting on set of Jeepers Creepers. It was controversial shit. Like, some, like, horror sites and all this stuff looked like freaking the Inquirer or something, like tabloid type news, man. The controversy was through the roof on this one, dude.
I have to wonder how much of this film's failure was caused by controversy, though. Does anybody actually pull out of funding after it started getting stirred up? Or?
Well, so here's what happened. To kind of explain to everybody the controversy itself. So, Victor Salva, the director of Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, and 3, he is a convicted sex offender. He is a pedophile. He committed crimes against a child on the set of one of his films from the 1980s. It's called Clown House. I'm not going into details, and I'm not exactly sure of them anyway, but apparently on the sets of that movie, he had his way with a child. With, I believe, a 12-year-old boy.
It's the middle child of the film, the middle child actor.
Yeah, if I'm not, and so he went to prison. He got totally busted for the shit. He went to prison, served his time. He got released, and after he was released from prison, he did go back to work in film. He made movies like Powder, which was for Disney. Then, I'm not sure. I know he made some other films, but, he made Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 2. Now, those happened post-2000s, and the internet was somewhat in its infancy then, but the thing is that you did not hear about any of that controversy. When I was a kid and watched Jeepers Creepers, I had no clue. No clue what happened. All of a sudden, like, it became a thing of like a kind of a did you know fact. Like, here and there, a few people knew about it. You might hear about it like on the internet, like in the tens or whatever. But when Jeepers Creepers 3 was announced, that's when it became common knowledge.
Right.
That's when the controversy really hit. And like I said, the news about Jeepers Creepers 3 wasn't so much about the movie whatsoever anymore. It was about the controversy surrounding the director, because people went apeshit. And I can say, I don't know, Briggs. I don't remember everything with this movie. I do believe maybe some investors did pull out, but I do remember like Canada got pissed and was like, started restricting his filming and stuff. Like, I can't remember if they was like, you can't even film it here. I can tell you this. On the set of a film, if anything negative happens, it can spread like the plague. That's why you want to keep moods up, man. You want to keep the momentum going and people happy and shit like that, because like if people come in, whether it's cast or crew, and they're in a bad mood and they start causing doubt in a higher up, lower up, whatever, that shit is infectious, and it will mess with the production in a magnitude of ways. So whether or not financially it was, a detriment in the filmmaking process, I don't know. But I can tell you, I guarantee you that impact was felt. Because think about that, man. Movies are made by hundreds of people. And if one person wastes some time, or, whatever, you're wasting the time of everybody on set. If shit's going bad, that's messing with literally everybody on set, man. If you have protesters out there, which I do remember that was a thing, man, that's messing with everybody on set. All of a sudden, your filming schedule is thrown off. So, it did, I guarantee you, affect the production. If not financially, then creatively, for sure.
So, what you're saying is cancel culture did ruin Jeepers Creepers.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't know if the story, being serious here, I don't know if the story would have been good regardless. I don't know if, the budget, if they had a better budget and they hadn't went through all the hardships of that and the, people trying to cancel the film, but I can assure you it didn't help.
It felt like after the first couple scenes of the film, like, the director lost all of his spirit. Like, if I didn't know who directed it, I would say whoever the hell it was, either somebody replaced him or the dude lost every bit of passion he had prior to shooting most of the film.
Well, man, I can tell you this, when I've been on set and someone comes in, and it doesn't matter if it's a low person on the totem pole or a high person on the totem pole. If somebody comes in and they cause any form of doubt, whether it could be, they talk shit about the director, whether it be they talk shit about the fucking caterer, no matter who, and it doesn't matter who it is. It could, it could be the janitor. Like, man, you guys really let the director fucking do that? Like, what? If they infect people with that doubt, man, it starts to spread, and then all of a sudden it's not one person having a bad day or one person afflicted with that doubt, it's multiple people. So I can see that, man. Like you said, like the spirit thing, that's a good read on that, man. I'm sure it would. Like, because all of a sudden, like, think about that. You're going to make a movie, and you've made numerous movies since you've done your stint in prison. And now, all of a sudden, people fucking hate you. And they don't want to see your film, your what you've given your life to. I'm sure that would sap some energy from it, man.
The only thing is, can it really be helped? Like, you can't. I just wish that people didn't know the truth. And they help their enthusiasm being affected by knowing what the director's done in his past. The fact that he served like a little over a year of prison time. Still making money off of where he abused his power.
That is true, man. I mean, that is something that if it wasn't going to happen, then it should have been stopped in pre-production. Because, well, man, like, this is shaky ground here, and I don't... Go ahead, Briggs. I see you over there. You have something on your mind, so...
Would you have stopped Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 in pre-production?
Like I said, man, I had no clue about the controversy when I saw them. I saw them as a kid. I had absolutely no clue, and no one seemingly had a problem with it. I like them both. I like the movies. I'm going to continue to like the movies, and I'm going to continue to watch the movies. It wasn't my call. This guy's punishment was not up to me. It was not up to anybody. It's somebody who dedicated their life to, being able to judge people and sentence them appropriately, accordingly. That's on them. That's, I mean, am I taking up for him? Do I like what? Fuck no. Like, that's some scumbag shit, man. But I watched the movies before I knew what the fuck he was and all this stuff, man. I'm not going to sit around and hate myself for liking movies that was made by somebody who did some scummy shit in the past. I mean, think about it, man. How many times have you went to McDonald's and ate a good hamburger and then you didn't fucking background check who made that son of a bitch, Briggs? Like, it didn't stop you from eating that hamburger, but I didn't know. Like I said.
That's the other side of the coin. Like, if we are to assume that someone is rehabilitated, and I believe in rehabilitation, don't you feel that they should be able to go back to what they do to most benefit people to doing what they're best at?
Well, see,
that's
man,
the other side of the coin right there.
The other side of the coin is a tough one, dude. Because like I said earlier, man, movies are made by hundreds of people. It's not just Victor Salva. Now, he might be the head honcho. He's the director. But, and his... Is the director going to be the hardest working person on set? No, but he is the one who puts his reputation on the line for the finished product. If this movie fucking blows, he's going to be the one who takes the heat for it. The catering service isn't. But still, he's the head honcho, man. It's made by hundreds of people, dude. And when you cancel something like this, and we've seen this, how it affects other people negatively. Like, there's a negative outcome to more than just the target. A problem with that coin, that side of the coin, is, Briggs, imagine, there's probably people on set, guarantee it, that saw those movies as kids, and they were like, I want to be in the film business. This is what I want to do. They get on the set of Jeepers Creepers 3 to help with this film, and it's going to be a lot easier for them to get on the set of that than a fucking Marvel movie, so that could be a good launching point. So this was probably a launching point for a lot of people in production, and they get there, man. This film gets hammered with controversy, gets canceled, all that stuff, man. And how do you deal with that psychologically, man? This is what you wanted to do with your life, And you just made a movie that people absolutely hate you for making and has now tarnished your resume. You are now attached to this production that people hate. So it affects tons of people, man. You know, it doesn't just affect, you know, and then another thing too. Now, I don't know. I can't speak for the victim. You know, I do know Clown House happened in the 80s, and that's when it took place, and they had to go through the trial process and all this. He had to tell his story to countless people, right? 30 years later, man, this controversy springs back up. Like I said, I can't speak for the victim, but typically in that time, man, hopefully he got some help, and hopefully he's able to progress with his life, and that is not his entire identity. I don't want him to be stuck there in that victimhood. This shit comes back up in full force 30 years later. You have just relegated him to a victim again. You have caused him to relive this horrible thing that happened to him. So you've made, you know, his whole identity is just a victim again. So like I said, man, it affects a lot of people, not just Victor Salva. It's not only him you're hurting at this point.
Two things that people have brought up in the chat. First off, the victim of Salva's crime, he still does campaign against the man. And one thing
he does?
A lot of people in the chat. Yeah. Another thing a lot of people have brought up in the chat is apparently per the conditions of his sentence, he's not supposed to work with minors again, which every film he's ever made has had minors in it.
Yeah.
So he's violating his, if what these people are saying is correct, then he's violating his sentence, like every time he makes one of his movies.
Yeah, well, that, you know, I know here in the USA, I know a lot of these films are shot in Canada. Like, you're not even allowed on social media again if you're a registered sex offender. So if that's part of the problem, man, and it's, you know, against whatever, dude, then absolutely. You know, somebody should be watching that. They should be taking that shit up with their local government. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's for sure. There's a lot of creepy shit that happens in Hollywood, dude. A lot. I've seen documentaries on that shit, and it's like, I don't know how the fuck people can be around it. Like, apparently it's a common thing, and it's like, being who I am, if I saw this going on, like, I'm probably going to prison myself for fucking hurting somebody. Like, you know what I'm, like, like, I don't know how it's so commonplace in Hollywood for stuff like that to go down, man. And I don't know how people can sit by and let that happen, but you know, sitting there watching the act and stuff, it's crazy. But, you know, as far as him still working and being around children and stuff like that, that's, yeah, I don't know, man. I just remember the controversy, and like, that's something that you have to take up with law enforcement. And
yeah, look at whoever set him up with such a light sentence in the first place. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah. But, you know, I will say that what has been done is that Victor Salva, like, is, you know, probably one of the most famous child molesters of all time now. You know,
there's that. There
is that. So I don't, you know, I mean, everybody knows, man, you know, if you know, you got to take that up with somebody way higher than us. We just sit here and talk about the movies. I like them. I mean, has it affected you, Briggs, in the way that you admire these movies, or
not the way I admire the movies? No.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, neither of us are like, we do not like Victor Salva the person, but the movies.
Like, he's shown where his talent is.
Yeah.
The cinematography in both of the first films are great. Like, the way it's cut together is great, but I divorce that. Like, I don't tend to look into who makes a film after I watch it, for the most part.
So you say you separate the art from the artist typically?
I view art as its own completed product. Art is a baby that's born. Once the final cut's out there, it's its own entity.
Oh, okay.
And what more I want to say to that is there are some cases where art can be used for a negative purpose. It can be used for like propaganda to promote harmful ideals, and the difference here is that Jeepers Creepers doesn't really do that. It's a very neutral film. It shows a monster as a monster. Like the creeper, some of his abilities are cool, but himself, he's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's shown as hateable, as wretched, and like that's what I think is key there. Like no matter how much like Salva may theoretically see himself as a superpowered monster, he is still making a film about what is obviously a monster.
Well, here's a good point brought up by Gabriel, and he says it's difficult. On the other hand, Roman Polanski's victim has said that the media has made everything worse for her and she doesn't want him punished. And I'm not very familiar with his situation, but that's what I was trying to allude to. I'm not, condoning anything whatsoever Victor Salva's done, but I'm just saying, like, this can hurt. Like, this can have negative consequences for victims, too. The whole cancel culture thing, and, it can bring those memories back up. It forces them to relive it, and it reduces them to nothing. It takes that 30 years of potential progress that this person made. Let's say he didn't want shit to do with that anymore. He's gotten his help. He's doing his own thing. You bring that shit back, man, and it reduces him to what he was 30 years ago. So, that's where I was going with that. And there's if anybody has any comments or questions out there, Briggs and I will try to answer them. It is a very shitty discussion to have, but like I said, you can't really discuss these without the controversy. And
the real shitty part's still to come because we haven't really delved into Jeepers Creepers 3 yet.
Oh god, yeah, what a terrible fucking movie, but yeah, man, that's Hollywood for you. Happens, it's apparently really prevalent there, and you have to, instead of going, well, I mean, you can still go after the person, whatever. Go after the fucking lawmakers and the people who allow this stuff to happen. If these people aren't adequately punished or adequately supervised, those are the people that really need to be watched. Because look at the shit they're letting slip through the cracks, man.
Look at the people who still give him multi-million-dollar budgets in light of it.
Yeah, and let's see here, Briggs. Let's see here, man. We got some more comments here. Didn't Woody marry his own adopted daughter? I do believe that was the whole thing with him. Yeah, the JK, that is, I was going to bring this up too, Briggs. JK says, yeah, but look at what happened with John Landis after Twilight Zone, the movie. A lot of people think he got away with potentially causing the deaths on set of 3 people. Yeah.
He didn't do that on purpose.
No.
Like, it's not apples to apples.
It is definitely not, but there is a lot of controversy surrounding that topic too. Apparently he flat out was, from what I've heard, and I wasn't there, obviously, but from the reports on it, is that he was hard to work with on set and ignored safety measures, and it resulted in children dying and men alike. Bernita says, this is a great discussion, by the way. Thank you, Bernita. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Tyler Trips and Dies wants us to watch the Bills or Rams game. I do not watch the NFL. Or any football for that matter. Juno, after watching that Woody Allen HBO documentary, what the fuck is wrong with that sick guy? I have not seen that. Those documentaries, man, like that one I told you about I watched on Hollywood, really sits there. I sit there and I get disgusted and it pisses me off. Like, I have no doubt I would be at one of those parties, as they call them. And, if I saw that shit, I'd pull out a pistol. I would. I'd pull out a pistol on motherfuckers. That would be... That would be it for that. Dragon Lord, welcome to the stream, my brother. Gabriel says, I think you're treading carefully. I respect that. I've just heard Salva's victim's interview and it is so frustrating to know what he went through. He was blackballed, and to him, the clown movie was sexual. That's horrible, man. Yeah, that's pretty terrible, man. That sucks for that dude. I really hope he's... it's one of those things that never goes away, but I really do hope he's getting the help that's out there for him, because that would be hard as hell to live with. Shadow Dice Gaming says, the Creeper versus Pennywise. Is the Creeper afraid of anything, Briggs? Could Pennywise perhaps...
Well, if the ending of part 3 is any indication, he is afraid of notes that say that they know what he is.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, Tyler, I totally do not watch football these days. Used to be a huge Cowboys fan, though, man. Briggs knows that. I had a ton of Cowboys gear and just... Nope. Juno says, Wesley Snipes did more time in jail than these sick producers and directors serving time. Yes. Yes, he absolutely did. Hey, Dragon Lord, I'll see you, brother. Thanks for stopping in. I can't wait till you make it back. Yeah, Jonas, crazy that he was able to bounce back from that molestation act. Regular people get convicted of sex crimes with a child and their careers are over with. Yeah, man. Typically that is how it goes down.
Daughter of Death says Pennywise turns into Post-its. You could also turn into post-punchers.
There you go, man. Let's see here, man. Yes, Gabriel, the Unsolved Mysteries segment does totally Jeepers Creepers, man. Yeah, Jonas, dude. Yeah, dude, it's Jonas is commenting about the underground pedophile rings in Hollywood, apparently, and yeah, man, normal people like us would not tolerate that bullshit. Like, I don't know how people can. I don't know. I don't know how that continues. There needs to be some cracking down, some real cracking down on that. So, Briggs, Jeepers Creepers 3, man, getting into that. We're past the terrible controversy now, and we're moving on to the terrible movie. Which, I mean, for God's sakes, dude, I don't even know where to start with this. I've only seen it once. I did not like it. I know, like you said, it does seem like the opening of the film is like a different beast than the rest of the movie. Like, the first 15 minutes it looks like an actual movie, and then after that it looks like fucking something that you'd see all over Amazon Prime.
One thing I wanted to bring up, it feels very unfocused. It feels like they just threw the plot lines in haphazardly. Like,
well, Briggs, can you tell us the plot of the movie? Because
old Sheriff Tubbs teams up with a bad Crichton Duke ripoff. They get together a cringy-looking posse of people who've been affected by the Creeper. Like, they have this god-awful name that I now forget and I can't find online. It's like the Creeper Catchers, something like that. Creep Hunters.
Yeah.
But they're getting together. They have all this heavy-duty weaponry that they're going to use to try and take the Creeper down. At the same time, they get mixed up with this woman who runs a farm, who I don't remember why, but she has the Creeper's arm.
Played by Meg Foster, Briggs.
Meg Foster.
Yeah.
And touching the Creeper's arm is apparently enough to give you psychic visions and make you float in the air.
Oh my god.
So she tries to help these creep hunters hunt their quarry. But just like in old Halloween Ends, the subplot is completely pointless and they all die like bitches. Because the creeper's truck apparently deflects bullets and he can knock bullets out of the air with his axe.
Yes.
It's a clusterfuck, and at the same time we got subplots, like we got a super typical teenage slasher scenario, and then we got something about it's like the ghost of Derry in the cornfield in part 2, but it's this horribly acted ghost of Meg Foster's grandson or something, and he keeps delivering these warnings that are just like super vague.
Yeah.
And they don't really tie to anything. They don't like elevate the plot like Jezebel's warnings in the original did.
No, man, this is really weird. And just to clarify a couple things that Briggs was talking about, Creighton Duke is played by Steve. I can't remember his last name, but he is essentially the bounty hunter character in Jason Goes to Hell, who gets hired to hunt down Jason. So that is Creighton Duke. And there is a character in Jeepers Creepers 3 that is much like that. He's like a bounty hunter dude that heads up the creeper hunters or whatever the hell they're called. And Briggs talks about the truck. Now, everybody knows the Jeepers Creepers truck. The truck kind of becomes a character of its own. In Jeepers Creepers 3, it turns out that it's kind of like Christine or something. Like, it can take care of itself. It apparently can shoot out booby traps. It can deflect bullets back into people. The creeper himself is loaded with shitty, horrible, god-awful CGI. Like,
he's got this bright red shirt on that makes him look chunky, too.
Yeah,
I don't know why they changed it from the black or brown thing he usually wears.
Yeah, he looks different. Once again, this is directed by Victor Salva. Mm-hmm. And you have the psychic abilities of Meg Foster, which one's got to wonder what the fuck happened to her. I mean...
It all comes to nothing. Spoiler alert, it takes place on the same day that the first two films do. They do not set it in another era. It takes place right before part 2 does. Creeper, like, humiliates everybody and moves on to do his thing.
Yeah, it's... The movie was just really, really subpar. Unnecessary. You know, like we talked about, man, I don't know. I guarantee you, like I said, troubled production, absolutely. Don't know how much of an impact that had. Guarantee it had some, but you can also tell that the budget constraints were really impacted the film.
Yeah.
And
again, I didn't mean to diss Tubi TV earlier, Diane. I'm just talking
he's
about
full of shit. Briggs,
something that your off Hollywood company would put out, something like the Asylum or Mill Creek or El Tempe Video would put out.
Oh my God, we don't talk about Tempe on this channel, Briggs. Dial it back, brother.
Definitely not a United Artists MGM production. You're
giving me PTSD over here when I used to get those screeners from Tempe in the mail. Oh my God. But yeah, Briggs is totally full of shit. He loves the Hillbilly Horror Show on Tubi, and but do you think there's anything they could have done that could have some changes they could have made to Jeepers Creepers 3 without retconning the whole fucking movie itself to make it better? Or they're like any no. Okay, Briggs is like
no.
Like no, there's
it's Halloween Kills, like 3 years before Halloween Kills or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's a really poor like commentary on vigilante justice that ends up in just like more of the same.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I can tell you the
What they
creeper
should've
will
done
not
is-
be taking Briggs's lungs.
They should have said it 23 years before or after. Like, I know that's not exactly a hot take at this point, but there's more that could be done if we just ditch current timeline and put the creeper in a different hunting period.
Has your throat gotten dry or something?
I think I caught a virus from my mom.
I was gonna say, like, I know that feeling, like once your throat starts to get dry, and like every time you talk, it just tickles worse. It's, oh.
It ain't that bad yet. It only
I
hurts
feel
when
you.
I laugh.
I feel you. Okay, man. So that is Jeepers Creepers 3, my friends. If y'all have any questions or comments, we'll
Why?
yeah. You know,
One
I
thing
see.
I want to say.
Go ahead,
they
Briggsy.
do bring Trish back at the very end of Jeepers Creepers 3 as kind of a teaser to say that she'll be back in the next one.
Yeah.
It's like having somebody say they're going to make you a pie, and then they hit you in the face with it. And after that, they promise they're going to make you a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's, oh my goodness. Now, I do see a couple comments over here, Briggs, talking about that it would have been cool if it had been a prequel. What are your thoughts on that?
Like, so 23 years before part 1, that would have been when it was hunting in 1978.
Yeah.
We know what had happened then. Like, at least we know one of the people we got. 23 years before that, that would be 1956, or no, 1955.
Yeah.
That's would be interesting. That's the Creeper versus Greasers right there. Imagine Creeper going after a hot rod. Then he's gonna need to floor that. Then he's gonna need to floor his truck.
You know what that really reminds me of is the story of the first Mothman sighting, and that's when like there were two couples out in a car, and they spotted like this winged creature in the road, man, and he takes off. It's at the domes, Briggs, the TNT area where we took you. And the people floored it, man, doing over 100 miles per hour, and the Mothman was apparently flying parallel to them. Their vehicle above them, dude. That...
Reaper versus Mothman, please.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying that could have been cool, man. Creeper versus Greasers could have been cool, people, I'm telling you.
23 years back from that, God, 1932.
Yeah, they
The
didn't...
Creeper in the Great Depression.
World War Creeper, baby. You know what I'm saying? They could have been cool, Briggs. Some Winter Soldier shit, dude. But, yeah, man. So, next up we have Jeepers Creepers 4 Reborn, which apparently is not directed by Victor Salva. It's apparently coming out next month, as a matter of fact. Like, this has gotten virtually no attention. And it's going to be a totally new trilogy that is separate from the other Jeepers Creepers films. Like, this is it's like a reboot or a remake. I mean, or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a totally new, or hell, it's a reborn, Briggs.
Oh God, it's not a remake. It's a rebirth.
Yeah. So yes, there is a trailer out, but yeah, you wouldn't know it exists unless you go looking for it. But yeah, so this one is going to follow a couple who go to like Horror Hound Weekend, and they win a contest to go through an escape room, and they start having visions of the creeper, and all this shit, and havoc ensues, and we get, I don't know, man, the plot seems really thin to me, Briggs. Did you check out the trailer?
I did end up seeing the trailer. I will say it doesn't really give me much in the way of a vibe of how the plot's gonna go.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's so weird seeing it depart from that open highway setting, and I don't know if that's gonna be good or bad, because Creeper, just like Jason Voorhees is the campground killer, Freddy Krueger's the high school killer,
Yeah.
Man's the mortuary killer, like, the Creeper was kind of the road trip killer.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so interesting, like, to see him outside of his usual stomping grounds.
Well,
I hope it'll be a breath of fresh air.
Well, man, you get Creeper, like an indoor Creeper, and it kind of feels like if you take Jeepers Creepers, man, and put him indoors, it kind of feels like he's at the fucking supermarket. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of like, what stops him from going to a concert or a mall and like, oh, there's all this shit here, man, all these people, I could take parts of them and use them for, it's kind of weird. I will say, that it definitely looks, as far as like the film quality, it definitely looks more like a real movie than Jeepers Creepers 3. I mean, the quality,
Mm-hmm.
But, that comes out next weekend. And it's going to be a 3-day event, folks. If you want to see Jeepers Creepers Reborn in theaters, you only have 3 days to do it. It's there for the weekend, and then it is gone. And there's only, I had no clue it was coming out next week. I looked up Jeepers Creepers Reborn to prepare for this podcast, and I see showtimes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Apparently, it's coming out next weekend, and it's only showing at one of my theaters, which is like 50 miles away. So, not even like a close theater or anything like that. Like, this is going to be in very select theaters, and yeah.
Are you going to see it in theaters, Bo?
The only way I would see it in theaters if we hit that Ultimate Halloween Bash 2022 goal.
Let's do it, guys. We only got $440 to go. We got to make that goal before it gets to theaters.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm not going to fucking watch it, not after part 3. Not in theaters.
Yeah, man, that's rough. Like, I'm not interested in it at all, really. Like, it would be one of those movies that, like, I would maybe watch some point in the far, far future, but unless, of course, we hit the Ultimate Halloween Bash 2022 experience.
Do it.
Yeah.
Cash money.
Yeah. No, man, we actually... Go ahead, Briggs, was there...
Gabriel wants to say, that's too bad. They probably thought it wouldn't do well. How awkward would it be if the trailer said Victor Salva is not involved?
Well, I definitely know that they have taken pictures and shit of like who is involved. Like, look, motherfuckers, this clearly isn't Victor Salva. Like I saw that as one of like the promo pictures for it, but let me see, Breeze. No, something is coming up that I'm thinking, so this weekend we have a new drive-in theater out here.
Oh,
yeah, we
have
have
one within 50 miles.
Yeah, this one's actually semi. Well, there's nothing close, but closer than that. So we do have 2 drive-ins, one of which is new, and this weekend they're going to be playing Beetlejuice and then It. So
that would be interesting ones to catch outside. Like, which It, by the way?
The remake.
Okay.
So
Chapter 2 as well?
I'm not sure on that. I would imagine, but maybe not, because that would be like a long-ass night. But yeah, I may go do that, man. That'd be pretty fun. Check out Beetlejuice on the drive-in screen,
Oh, yeah. Like, with alien landscapes in that thing, like, that would be a crazy one to watch on the big screen in the outdoor setting.
Daughter of Death wants to know if I will sneak people in. Well, I'll tell you what, DOD, if I have a truck and I do have a bed cover, so if you guys want to sneak under that, we pull into the drive-in and then just unearth you like Dracula from the coffin. And then, not only that, but I'm going to back in to the parking spot so that way me and my girl can set up lawn chairs and watch Beetlejuice and Pennywise torment children, man. Yeah, as Dragon Blue says, Briggs, we don't do within 50 miles around here. Yeah.
God rest the Queen, Shadow Diced Gaming.
Yeah. JP says, my brother used to hide me and my twin in the trunk. That's the only way to do it, dude. That's the only way to do it, man. Now, I'll tell you what, though, man. I'm actually going to pay for the tickets because, number one, they're very, very fair priced. And number two, like, this is a new drive-in, man. I'm going to support the shit out of them. Like, if they have food there, I'll buy the shit. Like, you know, even if it's a throw in the trash can. But, yeah, man, so... Oh, man, JP's hinting that they used to take him to the strip clubs, too.
What you should have done is your twin should have been the one driving the car, and then you and them could have switched out. So you only need to buy the one ticket.
Oh. Yeah, Trav Zimmerman says, I'm not a big Justin Long guy, so I wasn't going to see it anyway. Nah, Briggs, you know, so this is part of a new trilogy. It will be, I like how they have that kind of enthusiasm. This is part of a trilogy, like, no, it ain't. You ain't gonna get to make 3 films out of this shit. Don't lie, Jeepers Creepers, people. It's gonna flop. We know it's gonna flop. It's just like when they were saying that Texas Chainsaw 3D was the start of a new trilogy. If the Texas Chainsaw Massacre name can't inspire a fucking trilogy, I'm telling you now, Jeepers Creepers ain't gonna do it either. That shit ain't happening.
God.
You know.
Well, I sincerely hope Jeepers Creepers 4 will be better than Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh my God, Briggs. Don't talk you smack. I can tell you by the looks of the trailer it ain't gonna be better than Texas Chainsaw 3D. Like, oh my goodness.
You're just saying that because it doesn't have Alexandra Daddario.
Maybe I am. What are you gonna do about it, Briggs? You gonna challenge me, bro?
I'm just calling you out, dude.
Hey, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
He's pissing me off, folks.
That's why I'm here, ladies and gentlemen.
But no, man, if there's anyone else out there has any questions, comments, any of it, we'll get to it right now. We're pretty much done with the Jeepers Creepers talk. We made our way through it. This was one
through that long stretch of 3 movies.
Well, and the controversy which shadows those movies. So, Dragon Blues wants to know if that's our mating ritual. Maybe.
we come at each other.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh my God. But, and man, you know, this has been a hell of a chat tonight. I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you. I hope you come in to the next one we do, because we do one every Thursday. Like, that's a set day, but we typically do 2 a week at least. You know, me and Dragon Blues have been doing one every Tuesday typically, so.
Last Thursday we did one was back in like July 28th.
Well, you know. well, I mean, me and Dragon Blues, we'll hit up Thursday if I can't get the doctor on board, but. Oh my God, Jonah says, imagine if they just butcher the shit out of this new one, like the Creepers just using guns or something.
Oh, God. I'll watch him.
Oh my God.
Watch him pull out a spell book.
This is 2022. We'll probably get that plot point that, you know, we didn't get in the previous films, and racism is the new monster in Jeepers Creepers 4.
Transforms this time.
Yeah, his car transforms, racism's the monster, and he got his hands on guns at a local gun show, so. Gabriel says he just watched the trailer. It reminds him of elements of The Purge, the carnival type stuff, and a Halloween horror house slasher. Yeah, definitely not Jeeper Creepers like.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Daughter of Death says Dr. Briggs, medicine woman. You're too good at that, Briggs. Shadow Dice Gaming says, did you like the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I know Briggs is a huge fan.
I know Bo loved it.
No. Yes, Jarrett Barkley definitely watched Texas Chainsaw 3D. It's fun. It's not bad. Briggs will have you believe otherwise.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't about fun unless it goes all Part 2 style.
Yeah, Briggs hates fun, damn it.
It's only a fun Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie if it's utterly stupid, like The Next Generation.
Oh my god. Briggs, come on now. Yeah, so the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie on Netflix, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. Oh my god, Shadow Dice Gaming says she has a sexy belly button. What the fuck? Is there something wrong with it? Like, is there something we don't know about this belly button, Briggs?
Shadow Dice is just saying he wants to eat it and make it his.
Like, now the next time I see Alexandra Daddario in something, I'm just going to stare at her belly button the whole time, waiting for it to do something like those little mouths in the Dream Warriors on Taryn's arm just sucking or something. Like, oh my god, Jonas says there's nothing better than being full of Chinese food and watching the big TH. That's right, baby, the big TH of the world. Yeah!
That's why you're horror fam, Jonas.
That's right, he does it right. Jonas got that Chinese flowing, got that drink, baby. Mm-hmm. Jonas loving the part 2 of TCM. JK says, what about the Leatherface remake? I absolutely love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
Oh, he's talking about Leatherface from 2017, the remake of Leatherface from 1990.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We don't talk about Leatherface 2017, Briggs.
Well, we already talked about Jeepers Creepers 3, and that was a little worse, so...
Oh, my God. Leatherface 2017 was a shit mess of a movie, I'll tell you that. Gabriel asks if anyone is watching the AHS horror stories. They're hit and miss, but last week's Necro was messed up, and the ending reminded me of a Creepshow episode. I haven't watched AHS in a long time. Like, they really shit the bed for me.
What made AHS special for me, and the reason why I'm not too pumped for American Horror Stories, is because it was a successful horror show for as long as it kept being good. It was a successful horror show that wasn't an anthology show. It had the challenge of keeping up a plot through the whole thing, and that's what I think kind of separated it from the usual suspects as far as horror TV is concerned. But if it's a good anthology show, I might give it a watch at some point. It's not high on my list.
Ah. Yeah, I just gave up once they started becoming more predictable, and there's some things you said that really ruined it for me, Briggs. Like, that was very predictable. Like, Bo, pay attention to the ending of every fucking season, and that became horrible. And then once I realized that their whole scheme, their twists are so easy that it's not fun to me. The last truly good season was Freak Show.
I'd venture as far as say that too. Like Hotel, it was a kick in the nuts how good it was up until the last 3-4 episodes.
Ah, poor Briggsy. Gabriel says it's the cast that keeps bringing him back. Do they still have Sarah Paulson? And does she still look confused every time we see her? Briggs knows what I'm talking about. I refer to it as Paulson face. Like every time somebody talks to her, yeah, Briggs, you got it. She's just confused every time. It's like Shadow Dice. I have not watched the Chucky TV series. I watched the first episode and wasn't a huge fan. But Jarrett Barkley says that Texas Chainsaw 3D is on HBO Max.
Ooh, I wonder how long that'll last before Discover decides not making them enough scratch.
Oh, DOD Twisty's story was so heartbreaking and terrible. I loved it too. Twisty's badass.
Twisty's design was really excellent.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, Dragon Blue says, hey, you can't call it Paulson face. Too many Paulsons in the family. Hey, damn it. Sarah Paulson late. That's a trademark of Sarah Paulson. I'm sorry. You guys are going to have to change your names. Yeah, that's, dude, oh my God. Just go look up a picture of Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story and you will see what she does. Paulson face. Gabriel says, all right then, what's your favorite horror movie or TV show you've watched this year? Didn't have to come out this year. Yes, JP, please, for the love of God, get rid of her. Please. Dude, The Exorcist. For sure. The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie.
If you're talking about ones that we just watched this year, I guess two that stand out for me, first would be X from A24 Films, like one of the only slashers from the last 20 years you can take seriously. Second, since I'm watching Vincent Price films, trying to compile videos for Halloween, I watched one called Dragonwyck, which is, it's borderline, but it is a slow burn psychological horror about an obsessed landowner.
Damn.
And a woman he takes in. It's probably one of the best horror films I've seen come out of the 1940s, to be honest.
Yeah. So just to let everyone know, we're talking about our films and stuff because we're going to have to start winding down, Briggs. We've been on here for almost 2 hours.
You were on here with 3 hours the other day, Bo.
I was, Briggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because I'm hardcore.
Yeah, but I'm hardcore too. You want to go 3 hours, dude?
Are you hardcore Henry?
I'm hardcore Henry, man. I got to upgrade.
Yeah. No, yeah, just to let people know that, since we're talking about movies, that Dragon Blues and I, on our next stream, most likely, or upcoming either way, we're going to be going over our 31 days of Halloween picks. And that will be suggestions to everyone on maybe what you could add to your list. But then we're going to do one where we take suggestions from the viewers. It has to be horror films we have not seen, and we will add it to our list, and we will watch them the month of October.
All right, so we're throwing out suggestions that you or Anna haven't seen.
Yeah.
And what's the date on that one, Steve? Because I want to be there.
Oh, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to get you a date on that. I know it's supposed to, but we're talking about it, and we don't want to roll through too many of our ideas and then run out for the month of October. But that'll be very interesting, dude. Briggs is totally going to screw me.
I know. That's why he's going to cut me out.
Yeah, Briggs is going to get shadow banned. Like, I can't do this. Oh, man.
I'm going to be Tommen Baratheon when I try and save my love from the cathedral, but Mountainstein's just standing in the way.
You're going to be Ned Stark.
At the chopping block.
Yeah. But yeah, man, hey, thanks all of y'all for coming in. Who do we still have in here, man? I see Dragon Blues JP, Shadow, Gabriel, DOD, Dragon Blues. Oh my goodness, Briggs. This was a hell of a stream, dude.
Hell yeah, it was.
Jarrett Barkley's in here too. So, Briggs, are you happy with this one? Do you think we pulled it off?
I think so. Like, I got to gush about movies that you normally don't get to talk about without being interrupted by the controversy. I got to weigh in on the controversy itself. People stayed, like, supportive. I'm glad you guys all kept it civil. And I'm glad I could also vent about just how trashy the third film in the franchise was. All in all, like, Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, they're great monster movies that I'd love to revisit again sometime soon. And they've got a hell of a monster that's come about as a result of them.
Absolutely agreed, man. Yeah, we only had, as far as I'm aware, we only had 1 or 2 people who just couldn't take it. Like, they wanted to be the center of attention and left when they couldn't rattle us. You know, it's like, you're going to talk about the controversy right now. It's so fucked up that you would talk about the controversy, but I want you to talk about it right now. And then they just left.
We'll have to go see their Bandon Bantams game.
But yeah, man. Hey, thank you all, man. I appreciate that shit. Oh, JP says you're the man, Briggs.
You're the man, JP. Thanks for the donation, and thanks for watching.
Hell yeah. What movie did you have in mind, Jarrett Barkley? Jonas is still here, baby, with that drink flowing. Bernita Kincaid says, okay. I don't know what that means. That may be like we just did okay, or she may be agreeing with JP that you are, in fact, the man.
Aww. Dude, I wanted to throw something out there just for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If a group of horror monsters came to represent the 7 deadly sins, like, I think the Creeper, of course, would always be a prime choice for gluttony. Pumpkinhead, of course, is going to represent wrath. We got the Leprechaun for greed.
Yep.
ST Demon from It Follows for lust.
Ooh.
But then we have pride, sloth, and envy. And I don't know if any of you had any ones that would fit for those. And they gotta be monsters. They gotta be unique creature design, same as Pumpkinhead, Leprechaun, Creeper, or It Follows.
God, that is a damn good question, Briggs. Oh, Bernita says she's still here. Hell yeah, you are.
Glad to see you in here, Bernita.
Gabriel says, thanks for putting up with me. I came in a little hot when I saw the title. You guys handled it well. Well, like I said, Gabriel, I didn't say this to the fam or the chat or anything, but I did tell Briggs, I was like, I just may as well title it that because it's going to happen. Like, that's the only, like, so many people are going to come in just for that. And we're going to address it. Like, because the reason why is because I did a couple Jeepers Creepers videos, and to this day, I still get shit tons of comments on those, and it's never about the movies. Like, I won't say it's never about the movies. Sometimes it is. It'll be like somebody who loves the movies. Like, you'll get those. And then the other ones are going to be about the controversy. So I had to address it, dude. Like, and I figured that would be the way to do it. Is just let people know, look, this shit's gonna happen. Oh, Jared Barkley with $2, $2 Briggs. What do you think about them apples?
Yeah, forever grateful to you, Jarrett.
Jarrett,
thank you for being part of the horror fam.
Yeah, Jarrett's the man, baby. He said, have you ever seen the movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson?
I haven't. Is it better than Wolfen?
Oh, Wolfen. Oh, shit. That's a rough one, Briggs. Ooh, RL's getting those points taken down. Jared about to take over that stream boss. Briggs.
Damn, that knocked out half his HP.
Hell yeah. RL getting that pop, as it were.
Dragon Blues wants to say Pennywise would represent pride, as making him feel small defeats him.
Ooh, that is that's a good one.
Plus, I don't have another Stephen King character on the lineup, so that works too.
Jonas says that he likes that we ain't afraid to get in the bank, baby. We rock. Hell yeah, man. We're going to do, hey, we live up to the name over here. Talk Horror is as Talk Horror does.
Yeah.
Oh, Jared said it is better than Wolfen.
Okay,
Thank
that's
God.
a glowing praise right there. I do love me some Jack Nicholson, when the role suits him, of course.
Oh, yeah, Gabriel says, yeah, I don't know how people on social media do it. People always telling them things they already know or correcting everything they do and say. Yes, we've gotten, as Briggs knows, one of his videos, or a couple, are like infamous for him just getting trolled to hell and back. And there's one for me that's particularly bad as well. It's like, you know, it's like people almost don't leave you any room for growth. It's like, we did those videos a long time ago, people, and it's like, watch some of our new stuff. You know, now if, you know, like if we get ass blasted and we don't change the way we do things in the future, then that's on us. We deserve it. We suck. Well, if we're still making the same damn mistakes, you know. But yeah, man, it's like it ruins people. People find it easier to be mean than to be kind sometimes, I think. You know, they get distracted from the quality of the content just so they can talk smack, I think. Because I love the content Briggs put out there personally, like as a horror fan myself. But, you know. Oh, I hear you, Bernita. Heck yeah. Gabriel says he saw Wolf in theaters as a kid and jumped and spilled his popcorn everywhere, but that's my only memory of the movie. Oh man, I love movie theater popcorn, man, and it costs so much it's worth its weight in gold. Maybe that's why they started offering free refills. Ooh, Sloth could be Butterball from Hellraiser, Briggs.
Oh, that's outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, no pun intended.
Actually, no. Wow.
Yeah. I was thinking for Sloth, I was also thinking of the Blob.
Ah. All it does is crawl around and eat.
That's it, man. It's a lazy-ass monster. Gabriel wants to know what's Briggs's channel. There... Oh, yeah, Briggs doesn't do the YouTube thing. I've had him do some videos on TalkHorror. If you want to check some of those out, they're really good. Jonas, mix peanut M&Ms in your movie theater popcorn. Jonas with the life hacks, man. Oh, man. Oh, we got to end our poll, Briggs. The poll was... Which is better, Jeepers Creepers or Jeepers Creepers 2? Let's end it and see where we're at. Oh! 80% of people said they like Jeepers Creepers better than Jeepers Creepers 2. And that...
Hey, that's 1/5 of the vote that goes to cool guys like me.
And that is like by far our most popular poll we've ever had on the show. Like...
Yeah.
That's the most votes we've ever gotten on a poll. Gabriel says, what would be lust? Got to be someone who stabs like Jason or Freddy. He's pretty gross.
I like the ST Demon for lust.
Oh, yeah, from It Follows for sure. Got to be that. So which one did we have left, Briggs?
Oh, we got Envy. You got Envy.
Envy. Randall Flagg from The Stand.
Huh.
Let's think. Envy.
Like, there's a lot of like human villains who are driven by envy, but
yeah. Well, 13 Ghosts, the princess.
I'm
That
sorry.
that could be one, couldn't it? Because she's like jealous of Shannon Elizabeth now.
Yeah. That's another one like Butterball. That's outside the boxes. They're not the main entity of the film.
Yeah, that's true. Leatherface.
Hang on.
That could work, Briggs. He wants other people's faces, man.
Yeah, but he's another human villain. Like, he's not a monster.
Well, I mean, that depends on who you ask, Briggs.
Okay. Outside of a metaphorical sense, he's not a monster.
Okay. So a creature for envy. Chucky?
Like, what's he envy though? Like,
The fact that they're a fucking human and he wants to take their soul to be a human too.
like that. He eventually grows into the killer doll though. Like in Seed of Chucky, he embraced being the doll.
Oh yeah, but there was like 5 sequels before that where he didn't.
But was that envy or was that just out of necessity? Like he feels he'd be a more effective killer as a human. Gluttony's the creeper, Jonas.
Yeah, the creeper is definitely gluttony. Envy. Creature from the Black Lagoon is a monster that gets forgotten, but not sure where he'd fit.
Oh my god. Belial from Basket Case. That's somebody who envies having a normal body.
Look, yes, there you go. Belial. Oh my god. Yep. There you go.
Boom. Still technically a human, but a creature.
Okay, well, boy.
He wishes he wasn't so damn friendly.
Or Pinocchio from Pinocchio's Revenge, Briggs. I'm a real boy. I freaking snorted, man. Damn it.
God. I think you owe that film a rewatch, dude. I'm just saying.
There's no way in hell I'm rewatching Pinocchio's Revenge. Like, maybe if we hit the goal of Ultimate Halloween Bash 2022, Bojangles.
He's gonna watch Pinocchio's Revenge and he's gonna see Jeepers Creepers 4 in theaters, dude.
Oh my
What more
god.
incentive do y'all need? I'll go ahead and donate the
Hey.
Go ahead and donate the $4.40 right now.
Dude, that'll probably give me a fucking ulcer, Briggs, if I have to watch both of those. Oh man, Shadow Dice wants to know, what's your thoughts on the Jason lawsuit ending? I'm happy to hear that it got settled, and hopefully the credits go to those who deserve it, man. Gabriel and JP, man, I also watched Bates Motel, and I was a late comer to that series. I watched it after it had ended, and then I was really surprised at how good of a show that was. I really liked it.
That's a surprise, but then Psycho 2 being as good as it was a surprise in itself.
That's true, man. Although I heard you like Psycho 4, The Awakening, the best, but...
It had such a sweet ending, Steve.
It did, dude. It had the Huss. In case anybody was wondering, Olivia Hussey is Norman Bates' mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, Gabriel, the cast made that show. Totally agree. Yeah. Oh, man. Let me think. Yeah, God, who the hell was it? Yeah, there's Vera Farmiga and, God, what's his name? From the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I can't believe I'm so blanking on this, but hell, he didn't last long. Poor guy. Mike Vogel. There you go.
Ah.
Poor dude didn't last long, Briggs.
Oh.
Yeah. You know how that is.
Ways.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Gabriel says we have him pulling up the article 50 best monster movies of all time. It's worth a read if y'all get a chance.
Oh, by Paste Magazine?
So, yeah, well, I'm just wondering,
Oh,
go ahead, Briggs.
here's Prophecy, the Man-Bear Pig movie here in 1979.
So I'm just wondering, out of sheer curiosity, because we had a lot of new faces in here tonight, did we get any new subscribers? Like people who weren't subscribed, but subscribed over the course of this stream? I am very curious. Prophecy, isn't that the John Travolta movie?
One, you're thinking of Christopher Walken.
Or Christopher...
And two, no, this is an entirely different Prophecy.
Oh.
This is about a mutant bear in the woods.
Oh my god. Okay, Briggs, tell me what this is from then. Speaking of Prophecy, let's test your horror skills. Fulfill the prophecy.
There, I just did. If you heard that.
What, dude? You laughed? What's it from, Briggs?
I'd fulfill the
Fulfill the prophecy.
I'll know as soon as you tell me, Steve.
Somebody had to make one last wish to fulfill the prophecy.
We're talking about Wishmaster.
Yes. Gabriel says, I'm new. I got your notification, but I wasn't subscribed. Weird how YouTube does that, but I'm glad.
I'm happy you enjoyed the stream, and I'm happy you're part of the fam now, Gabriel.
I was hoping to see somebody subscribe during the stream because I don't think the alert box is working properly for new subscribers. You know, so I just tested it, but so I mean that's me.
You still hurt RL, dude.
Oh, it hurt him?
Yeah, he's down to 398 now as soon as notification came up. For shame, Steve.
Hey, that's not my fault, man. That was you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, RL. Sorry, Mr. Looker.
Yeah, Mr. Looker. All right, Briggs, man. I'm going to have to get off here and go get me something to eat.
But we're so close to 3 hours now. We passed 10 o'clock.
Oh, my ass. We're at 2:07.
Well, you go enjoy making some poor animal a part of yourself, Steve.
Okay. No problem for me, man.
Hope you get a pig's eyes.
Oh, Briggs! Oh my God, Briggs, you son of a bitch! I can't believe you would curse me like that on stream. For shame.
Oh, really?
Oh, Jarrett Barkley says it's been seriously fun. I have to finish watching Alexandra and Texas Chainsaw. You enjoy that, my friend, for all it is worth.
It is the only thing worth watching Texas Chainsaw 3D for.
Oh my God. But Jarrett, hey man, seriously, I appreciate you coming in, dude. Swinging some money my way. That is totally badass. Oh, JP says he is sending me the Skull Beer Bong, and it's delayed because he's adding a few items to the pack. I love that, man.
Oh, a Skull regular bong, perhaps?
Listen to Briggs getting in on that shit. Oh, man. Hey, love y'all too, dude. Jonas coming out with a love y'all. And Dio, hey, love you all too, man. Thank y'all so much for coming in. Welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome to the horror fam, my friends. We'll have another stream coming up very shortly. It has been an amazing night, and thank you all for bearing with us. Like I said, man, this was a sensitive topic. We knew that. That's why we addressed it right off the bat, but I don't want anyone to feel left out. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or make it seem like, our stance is worth fighting over or anything like that. We see everybody's viewpoint, and we appreciate all opinions, man. Thank y'all. It's nice to see y'all hung it out until the end, man. Except for Briggs, I'm really getting tired of you hanging out, Briggs.
Well, that's kind of my shtick, dude. No matter what you do, you can't get rid of me.
I know, he's like glue.
If it's in the trees or in the twigs, you can't get rid of Dr. Briggs.
Oh my God. All right, Briggs, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here.
All right, buddy.
Until next time, my friend. Oh, Briggs.
Look horror.
Listen horror. Talk horror. Yeah.
See you next time.
Next time, my friends.